Hi everyone and welcome to the Tesla Chick. No, wait.
Hi everyone and welcome to the Call Girls Investment Club podcast. I'm not going to say like anymore.
It's every single time. It's every single time it happens.
The comments, that's okay, that's our trademark now. The comments last time said you say like way too much, so I have to not say that L word anymore.
Yeah, we gotta improve. We gotta get better on the fly. We gotta.
Now that we're on the island, I couldn't print anything, so we're going to use my computer as a script.
Okay.
Does this sound okay to you?
I don't know. I can't hear it. The sound of this relaxing ocean breeze in the background.
So relaxing. Happy Thanksgiving. Do you know what? I think 2020 was the best year ever.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that. I'm gonna say, you know what? I think what's a good year?
Honestly, there's a lot of good things that happened as a result of bad things this year.
What's the year Terminator came out?
I feel like it was this year in reality.
What's the year Terminator came out?
I don't know, 84 or 85?
85 was a good year.
Girls were not treated well in 80s.
I wasn't alive then either.
Well, I feel like I've learned some very important lessons in 2020. I feel like I lost a lot of friends, but the friends I lost were people who were intolerant of anyone with differing opinions. So actually, I feel like I know who my real friends are. So
I don't agree with that. I think we lost some good people. I'm specifically talking about Marcella here.
Oh, well, we lost her to death.
Yeah.
That wasn't rejection.
Yeah,
okay, this was the worst year
you
ever. You
said we lost people. You didn't say what we lost people to.
Honestly, this was the worst year ever. Marcella was like a second mother to you guys. Okay.
How could you say that?
All right, this was the suckiest year ever. Can we have it?
How could you open on 2020, the best year ever?
I'm trying to be positive.
I understand that, and I'm sorry to bring it down for you, but I just think that's a very tone-deaf way to open our show.
Okay, let's think of a different opening.
Oh
my God, where are we?
Our plane crashed. And we landed on this desert island with only coconuts and crabs to sustain us. You want to talk about the stock market?
There's nothing better to do. We're just sitting here on this island.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Call Girls Investment Club podcast. Hi, Mom. How was this year?
I'm on a roll. In the last 10 days, I made a 145% return on my Robinhood account.
That's really good.
That was great. And my whole year has been dedicated to trying to find out if somebody with just a minimal amount of money, like $10,000, could, make $1 million trading options.
Is that 145%, as in you made an additional 145% on top?
Yes. So basically...
Okay, that's much better than I thought.
Yes.
I thought you meant 45%.
Well,
okay.
Okay, I started with $15 total. $15.
Yeah,
$15,000.
So now we have $30.
No, I actually.
No, that'd be 40. No, wait.
I started with $1,000. The next day I put in
$37.
Okay, I started with $1,000. The next day I put in $5,000, upgraded to gold, so they gave me that credit. Then I transferred $10,000. It took 3 days to get that credited. So I added $15 or I don't know, $9,000. Because it was $15,000 total that I put in over the last 10 days, and now I have $58,000 in there.
That's pretty good.
I think it's good. It's moderately good. It'd be great if I could do that all the time.
I will share my hot take of the week. I think Tesla is peaking. I think it's gonna either plateau or go down a little from where it currently is.
So on what basis?
On the way the stock looked just now, this Friday.
Okay, I have Tesla here. I was going to show the different markets first and then go into Tesla, which is what I made a lot of money on. I also made a lot of money on a Nikola put, which is a bet against Nikola, which is the...
That's a safe one. I think Nikola's going to continue going down, but I think that people are reaching a point with Tesla where it's frankly ridiculous, and people are just going like, I don't know if it can get any higher.
Is that something you're picking up from other people you talk to?
Not really. It's more a gut feeling of my own.
Well, you told me this on Friday, and I had made more than double my money in my Tesla options. So what I did is I sold half my Tesla options. So now I've got only the house's money in Tesla options.
Right.
But
And
I'm going to change them on
I
Monday.
agree with that still, because I understand it sounds kind of crazy when I'm saying it's a gut feeling, but every single day for this week, Tesla has started off and just been a constant climb, except for on Friday. On Friday, it went up, and then it went back down to about the same place it started, and it didn't, like... It was still counted as an increase, technically, but I feel like it's a bump that, to me, stands out as different from all the rest of the chart. Like, I mean, I guess you could say something similar happened here, but I don't know.
So that's the end of the day. Here's my take on that. All week long, people made a fortune on Tesla. Friday, they're like, okay, let's get out and take our profits. And then, which they often do on Friday. And then Monday, they buy it back in. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Right.
Cross my fingers. Right. And also, that chart is kind of similar to the stock market. Although, honestly, that chart is similar to the stock market because Tesla's part of this. I'm looking at the Nasdaq. Tesla's part of the Nasdaq. Tesla's a big chunk of the Nasdaq.
Yeah. So wait, is Tesla going up because it's a part of the Nasdaq?
So when it got added to the Nasdaq, that means all the ETFs, all the exchange-traded funds that are based on the Nasdaq had to buy some Tesla stock to balance equal to the Nasdaq. Now they're added to this S&P, except they're not yet. I misspoke last week. They're not yet added. They're going to be added on December 21st. So they're not even added yet. So all these people have to buy that stock. And here's my take. There's a lot of reasons why I thought Tesla was going up, but the number one reason is because it's a supply and demand situation where there's a supply of stock and there's a certain demand for the stock. And the people who own it are very attached to it, so they're not eager to sell. And now there's all these new buyers that have to come in. Okay, there's this whole thing about Tesla short sales. Here's my arguments. And one of the things I said is it's at its highest short sale level it's ever been, almost. So what that means is there's a lot of people betting against Tesla, and when this gets added to the S&P and there's all this buying, there's going to be a short squeeze, I think. Okay.
What's a short squeeze?
So all these people who have bets against Tesla, like puts, and the price goes up, they're going to chicken out and have to buy Tesla to cover their short. So there are more buyers.
Right.
Okay, so there's about $22 billion worth of shorts right now. I've seen people argue about this. They say, oh, well, it went down $4 billion. It's $22 billion right now.
Right.
Okay, so here's a chart. This is the short interest shares, the yellow going down. See how it's, oh my God, there's so many less shares of Tesla shorted.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to disprove that. That green is the price of Tesla. So as the price of Tesla went up, the short interest went down. Well, think about it. That's shares. So every share here, 130 million shares of short interest, the price was 100.
Right, it's being measured in shares rather than the amount of money spent.
So here's my spreadsheet. And basically, it went from $130 million, 55 shares is $7.15 billion. All the way, it keeps going up, 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 up. The highest was September, and right now it's at $25 billion. So it's more than double what it was at the beginning of the year.
Right.
So all those people have to get out, or I don't know where they're going to get the money to cover their shorts, or are they going to just stay in? But I feel like there's going to be a major short squeeze. And in fact, the Standard & Poor's market, the people in charge of, I actually don't know who it was, but somebody in charge of Standard & Poor's or their ETFs said that they're so worried about having to buy so many shares of Tesla at such a high price to balance it out that they're really worried it's going to crash the market with all the short squeeze that they're expecting. So this is why I feel really strongly that this hasn't happened yet. This is just the preliminary rise before this.
Right.
That's why I was like screaming at you, buy Tesla, buy Tesla.
Right.
But I do think it went down Friday because of the end of the week thing.
So will it continue to go up when those people eventually have to buy it? Do you think?
So obviously I know nothing, but I think it's just going to keep going up for a long time because of all these other factors.
Well, that's based on evidence and reasoning, which I don't have. So fair enough.
Well, I did homework. I did math.
You did math.
I really recommend people do their own homework always. You know?
So you think that when the stock market crashes, Tesla will be the lone survivor?
I actually think that they're going to have to sell shares of everything else in the Standard & Poor's to buy the Tesla shares, and everything else is going to go down and Tesla's going to go up.
Right.
And this actually happened, I think it was the end of last week. Everything was going down and Tesla was going up, and I was in it then. So I was really happy about that.
So have you figured out how to sell and buy stocks on Robinhood?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that the user interface has stopped being so cryptic to you.
I told my whole theory about Tesla last week, so I'm not going to repeat it.
Right.
Nikola, the story on Nikola, I think I might have told you that too. The guy who started, one of the founders of Nikola, Milton, Trevor Milton, I think his name is. Why is it escaping me? I don't know. He got forced out, because the SEC said he lied too much and they're investigating him. So he could go to jail for that. And his shares are locked up because he was one of the first investors until November 30, which is Monday.
Right.
So a lot of people are theorizing he's going to dump the shares because he'll sell them and go off to some island where he can't be prosecuted and live the rest of his days with his billions of dollars.
Of course.
I would. So there's a development on that. Let me find it. That's Nikola, by the way.
Oh boy, it looks like Bart Simpson's head.
It looks like a hat. I realized this whole thing right here on Tuesday. I bought in. Actually, a friend tipped me on this. Thank you, Stanton Cruz. So I bought here. I bought puts. I bet against Nikola, and it started going up 20% right there, right? So I kind of got out around the middle here.
Right.
And I lost money. But then after it went up to here, I was like, that's probably it. And I told everybody in the group, that's probably the top. And then I bought back in and puts. And then I got this whole big downward.
Nice.
Yeah. It went down 20% from where it left off.
It looks like
30%.
It looks like a square wave from music. That's something that would make an interesting. I'd use that in a synthesizer instrument.
So that's a technique kind of. It's like, okay, I was losing and I got out. I admitted I was wrong. But then I got back in when it started going my way. The reason it went up, I understood why it did it. An analyst came on and said, I'm going to initiate coverage, which is where he's going to start analyzing the stock. He says, I recommend you buy this stock. This was a guy from Loop Capital. I did a ton of research trying to find out if Loop Capital had any connections to Trevor. I keep forgetting his last name. It's like Milton or something. The guy who's going to sell all his 140 million shares of stock. Okay, so the thing is, I did math. I didn't write Trevor's last name here either. I thought maybe it would be in the script. Trevor, what's his name? I did math because I thought he had 86 million shares, right?
Right.
So I figured, okay, what's the price? And I multiplied. It's $2.6 billion worth of stock he has that he's probably going to dump. $2.6 billion. So that was 86 million shares. I found out, I think 140 million is actually how much he has locked up. Which is almost twice as much. So that's a lot of billions. So anyway, I'm real happy with that one. Somebody, a couple of friends posted on my Call Girls Investment Club about whether it's 140 or 86. They're arguing about it. This is the company that has this genius technology, and they made a deal with GM, and they got $3 billion. Well, you know what? They didn't get $3 billion. They got $0. They just got a relationship, and they didn't even finish signing the paperwork. So they're not even technically in business with GM. And that's, I feel like this stock is so overhyped, and I feel like the analyst is crooked and basically hyping the stock. They call it pump and dump. They say a lot of great things about the stock to get it up, and then they sell. And people who know it's going to crash will do that. They'll try to make it better and better and better so they can get the best put price. And then when it crashes, they make a fortune. So I just feel like this is... I hate to say that I'm calling this analyst crooked, but I just don't see why he would recommend the stock days before Trevor's shares are available to sell. I mean, just
yeah,
it's
that
insane.
makes sense. Well, I mean, what if he doesn't sell the shares?
That's possible, but I feel like everybody in the community expects him to, so they're all going to put the shares down.
Yeah, fair
and then
enough.
his price is going to drop. And I mean, he might wait a couple days and see if he can get the shares up higher even. But
Right.
I don't know why this analyst came out now. If he's helping out Trevor, he should have waited till like the day before or something. But that was pretty close to the day before because of the holiday, Thanksgiving holiday.
Right.
So that's Nikola. So I did a little analysis here on my favorite things. There's Nikola. You could have made just straight up the difference in the stock went down 25%. Tesla, just the stock itself, went up 20% this week from the low to the high. TQQ was 8%. Dow was 7%. S&P, these are triple leveraged. What I would trade is triple leveraged. The triple leveraged Nasdaq, the triple leveraged Dow, and the triple leveraged S&P is the UPRO, 5%. The VIX is this new thing I'm looking into, the volatility index. I don't think I'm going to do it because they only made 2% this week.
Yeah.
And then there's Bitcoin.
How's Bitcoin doing?
Okay, so I started to tell about this last week and I forgot to tell it. We got on a sidetrack, but I posted to my friends. I was thinking Bitcoin, and I did say my theory that I feel like that's like the new gold, like the new hard asset.
Yeah.
So I posted this on my website at 6:36 in the morning, and then I have all these friends that I met through Tesla, so they're
Right.
all over the globe, and they're all kind of at high levels of different corporations and companies and stuff. And many times I'll post something, and then I'll see it on Jim Cramer's show like the next day. 3 hours later, there was this major article in I just got bit by an island rabbit.
A crab. A crab bit
A crab bit me. Stay down, crab.
Crab, do you have anything you want to say?
This is similar to what happened last time I told the story.
Yeah. Okay, so Bitcoin.
So I posted it, and 3 hours later, there was a big article from BlackRock saying, "Is Bitcoin the new gold?" And it shot up. And I posted this at 6:36 in the morning, and I bought Bitcoin like minutes before I posted it. And I made so freaking much money. And so I sold it because I felt like you made the point that it was really, you thought it would sell when it gets similar to its previous peak. And I do think a lot of people think that way, and that makes it a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I looked, and it was like right near that peak, and I was like, okay. And then it went up to like 19,500, which was the old peak. But I got out a little before then after talking to you.
Right.
So I'm not in it.
What happened afterwards?
So this week it lost 15%. So I'm like,
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you.
You
Oh.
were right. You have good instincts. I don't know where you're getting them from, though. I mean, you talk to friends, but you're not
No.
talking to them about stock.
It's you, really. I think it's just picking it up from
It's the
all your
reflection.
offhand comments.
It's a reflection off me.
Yeah. I am your dark reflection.
There's one more thing I wanted to talk about. That was, are we in a bubble? Is the stock market in a bubble? And have you heard this?
Yeah.
Do you think it is?
I have mixed feelings on that.
The reason I don't is because all the government spending basically creates a situation where they're spending money that doesn't exist. I'm going to pick the crab up. Can I have my mic?
This is yours.
Oh, that's the wrong one. This is an island cat.
It's a crab.
Wild cat of the island here.
So we can edit a crab in over.
I don't have time for that.
Okay, fine.
Last week I didn't have time to edit out all the times I said like, and someone got mad.
You should
The
do that.
first minute I was like saying like as much like sort of like this, I drove him nuts. So I don't think it's a bubble for a couple reasons. The number one is because of all the money printing. Number two is if Biden were to get into office, he would appoint Yellen, and she's already stated that she wants to do more treasury support of the economy, which means more money printing, which means more devaluation of the dollar. This is actually, you know what the effect of that is? It basically takes anyone who has assets and it makes them worth less because it's in dollars. Like if you have $100 in the bank.
Right.
If they print $100 they don't have relative to your $100, that makes your $100 worth $50. Are you trying to ruin my sound?
I'm trying to find the purring sound, but I can't find the source of it. There it is.
So they're basically robbing from the rich and giving to the poor when they spend money they don't have. And that was the big complaint when the housing market crashed and they did that.
Right.
Which is, I hate to say it, but that was why they said this is taxation without representation. We should have a tea party. That's what started it. It wasn't a bunch of kooks in the beginning.
Right.
So I don't think it's a bubble now because I think that the spending continues, and that's what makes the stocks worth twice as much. If they double the amount, I mean, they are worth twice as much, but if they increase spending, they make the dollar worth less because it's money they don't have, and it makes stocks values double in price because the price is worth less. So like $100 stock.
So it's just inflation is what you're saying.
If you're going to buy something that's got an actual value of $100 and now the $100 is worth $50, you need two sets of $50 to buy that actual $100 thing.
Right.
So there's that. And then
so it's just the current situation has increased the inflation rate temporarily, as you're thinking.
It's kind of like inflation, but not the way the government measures inflation.
Right.
There's a second reason why I think it's not a bubble. I heard some interviews, and I agree with the people that I heard interviewed. They say that there's cycles, and there's always like a peak and then a crash. But the reason they don't think we're at the top of the peak yet is oftentimes when you get to the top of a peak in a market, there's a bunch of IPOs, initial public offerings, these companies that are selling stock for the first time on the stock market that are worthless companies. Like in a frenzy, near the end of the crazy boomtown frenzy, a bunch of worthless companies will come out and sell their stock.
Right.
And the person I heard talking said that he didn't think that we were at that point yet. I think there were a couple worthless companies that came out and sold stock, like Nikola. But there's good ones too, like Airbnb, and a lot of profitable companies are coming out doing it too. So I haven't seen a bunch of crap yet.
I think you could do a whole video on just the saga of Nikola, and it would be like a good YouTube video that you could make, and I could edit it.
I'm sure it's been done.
No, I don't think so. Not the way I'm thinking.
Okay, so the last thing I want to say is you have to face facts with politics if you want to trade stocks.
Right.
I feel that the stock market believes, I still suspect the stock market believes Donald Trump won and is going to prevail in the law.
I don't trust you in this, but we'll see together. I don't think the stock market knows
Well, of course you don't trust me if you've seen any media coverage
that.
at all.
It's not that. It's that I think the stock market is generally the general public, at least the public that is
So
trading
you think it's
stocks.
dumb money?
I've always thought the stock market is dumb money.
I can't decide.
I have stood by this forever, and it has always been my sticking point.
That they're dumb money? They
Stock
are now.
market is dumb.
Okay, they used
People
to
are
be
dumb.
smart. They used to be the smart money, and I think it has. The commentators even talk about this. It's kind of changed over the last year or so, where there's a lot of dumb money now.
Yeah, because everyone's in it.
Yeah, you're correct. So my thinking is, why is it up? And I think there's the spending, but also if it were to crash, the dumb money is all waiting for somebody else to be the last one out. They don't want to be the last one out the door,
Right.
So the smart money is in the market capitalizing off the dumb market, the dumb money.
Right.
It's very distracting being hit with this.
Yeah, her tail is
It's
something
like a
fierce.
whip. No, you can't go on my computer.
Oh.
No, not my computer. So, what are you doing? What are you? Would you stop?
Is that eyelid birds I hear?
Stop!
They're coming
Michael,
for us.
Michael, you have such ADD. Oh God.
So that was our intermission.
got to clap again. There's a couple things happening on that front. Officially, we do not know who the president is yet. Can we agree on that?
Sure.
That's like a Republican versus Democrat stance right there. But the truth is, it's not legally, officially one person or the other.
I have money riding on it, so I'm going to say no.
So here's the thing. Trump believes it was an illegal, fraudulent election and that he won by a landslide.
Right, and then Biden believes that the election wasn't fraudulent and that he won by a landslide.
Right. So Biden was pressuring, set up my office, give me the transitional funds, let me start appointing people, I need the office in the White House. And, in the past we've had elections that were contested and people waited until 2 days before. Actually, the Trump election, when they elected Trump, last time, 2016, they wouldn't give him anything until 2 days before the inauguration. So, I don't know.
Right.
So anyway, Trump released the transition funds. So a lot of people had headlines in the media. This is how I'm saying, be skeptical of the media. I've seen this with Tesla. Tesla stock was hammered by short sellers trying to destroy it. Hammered by the big oil interests doing these articles and these statements about how it'll never make a profit, how the cars explode, all this crap they made up, bullshit stuff that they hammered away on repeatedly, right?
Right.
So the media is very clearly for Biden. I'm not saying anything from one side or the other. I'm saying it's very obvious that the media is very clearly for Biden, and they're promoting Biden all the way. They're ignoring, like Trump had a big hearing with the Pennsylvania legislatures talking about all the fraud.
Right.
And the media, you know what their headline was about that?
What?
Biden holds public address. Future President-elect Biden, the office of the president-elect, they completely ignored Trump's major accusations.
Right.
So some people are going to be pretty shocked if that turns out to be true, aren't they?
Probably yes.
Okay, so the current status of that, by the way, on Pennsylvania is Trump's case was trying to get a ruling to say, instead of using the vote to tell the Electoral College what to vote for Pennsylvania, it should be the legislature deciding it. So he lost all these cases. A lot of people ruled against him. And the headlines are all saying, oh, he lost all these cases. But what happened is they held this hearing about the evidence in front of the legislators, and the legislators decided they're going to invoke their right as legislature to decide who the Electoral College should vote for and not look at the vote.
Right.
Nobody's covering this. So basically Trump got his way in Pennsylvania. But nobody's saying anything about it. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff happening in all these swing states that nobody's covering the media, and everyone's going to be totally shocked about when it happens.
Yeah, I
can pretty clearly see he's going to win legally.
Okay.
That's my prediction or my vision or whatever. And people won't like me for it, but when it happens, you'll know I said it was going to happen. People who don't do their homework think it's not going to happen. But you have to do some serious, diligent homework if you want to know the truth, because all the media wants Biden to win.
Yeah.
That's my point.
I have mixed feelings because I think that there is an absolute possibility that the election was rigged in this way. I think that I'm not 100% sure that you can say that Trump won the election. I'm not 100% sure where I stand on... I don't remember what I was even going to say.
Well, do you remember going to bed and me saying that night, it's statistically impossible now for Biden to win? Yeah. Everyone thought that. Everyone went to bed thinking Trump won. Everyone woke up the next morning and, oh, all this magical change happened overnight. And you know that whole thing about the pipe bursting and they stopped counting the votes?
Right.
There was no pipe.
Okay.
It was a lie. Why would they do that?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, there's hundreds of affidavits, and yet people who watch the regular media news all still think there's no evidence.
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely going to be an investigation. I think it's definitely going to eventually come out what actually happened, and I don't want to say my stance on the matter until we get like an actual like full ruling and breakdown of what exactly happened.
I think it's really important that everyone find out exactly what really happened. The
I
truth.
think that's true.
The truth is important.
I think that's true.
And there's one other thing that Trump did. So here's what I'm thinking. I read this book when I was in my 20s called The Art of War. Sun Tzu, I think the name is. And it's basically, there's a lot of karate kind of stuff. Like, if someone's going to hit you, instead of blocking, which hurts your hand, you, like, dodge out of the way or give in.
Yeah.
And it makes them fall forward. So I feel like Trump's doing a lot of Art of War stuff on Biden because giving him the money put Biden in a position of now he's going for it. He's naming all these people. He's so proud of himself, you know. And if he fails to win, he's going to look pretty bad.
Right.
So there's that. And then Trump also fired one of his lawyers, they said in the headlines, but he didn't fire her. Her name was Powell, Sidney Powell. She's like one of the top lawyers in the nation, but the media keeps saying how she's a failed lawyer. She actually is an award-winning lawyer. So he clarified, she doesn't work for me. Well, she was working for him, I think. She's working on his side. She has all this evidence about the counting machines being fraudulent.
Right.
So basically that's what he's doing is like an Art of War thing where he's attacking on one front. Now he's got another unrelated party attacking on a different front.
Right.
So it's like two chances for him to win instead of one. You see?
Right.
So I feel like he's playing this thing. He knows exactly what he's doing.
I don't think that the American election is something that should be played. I think that's not a good way of putting it, but I can see your point.
It might be a bad way of putting it, but I think it's important we get to the truth, and I feel like the media doesn't want to know the truth. They just keep saying there's nothing.
Right.
They don't want anyone to consider anything. So I kind of am rooting for him to at least get through to someone to look at it before they certify the election.
Right. Okay.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for, because I just want the truth to come out, you know?
Yeah.
Of course, that's a controversial statement these days, so I don't know.
Okay. Anything else we have to talk about?
No, but I'm thinking really hard on how I can make a good ending.
Yeah, you kind of just went all out on the controversial statement ending there, huh?
To wrap it up, I think it was a really good week, and I think whether Trump or Biden wins, either way, is going to be a huge surge once they announce. If Biden wins, I feel like the spending's going to go nuts and the stock market will go up. All the appointees that Biden made, all the cabinet assignments support big business. If Trump wins, people will think the economy is going to do better, so then the stock market will go higher. So either candidate, once they make a resolution, it'll go higher. And
Right.
I think in anticipation of it being resolved, it'll go higher.
Right.
So I just think it's just going to go higher. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Why did you install those things if you didn't want me to use them?
I don't know.